Hey, this is David Wright, the host of Barefoot Bible, sharing with you an introduction to the restart of the Revelation series that's coming up on June the 12th. So I'm going to just kind of introduce where we stopped, where we're at, and where we're picking up. I think it'll be a help to you. And then you have an opportunity to refresh in your memory where we left off in chapter 14, and I'll specify, exactly what I would suggest that you read or watch prior to June 12th, so you're all caught up. Now, just a reminder to you about the outline of Revelation, and this is covered in my book, The Revelation of Jesus. There are three basic divisions of the book of Revelation. They're spelled out um, by the Lord in his first vision that he showed to John while John was imprisoned on the Isle of Patmos. And the first section is highlighted in verse 19 when he says, "The things which you have seen." When he says that to John, he's referring to that which he had already witnessed as an eyewitness of Christ's uh, uh, life, sinless life, his death on the cross, his resurrection from the dead, and then his ascension. Uh, uh, John was an eyewitness of all of those as one of the 12 apostles. The first chapter of Revelation covers the things that uh, uh, somewhat of a descriptive and allusions to the things that John had already eyewitnessed. Now, secondly, um, verse 19 of chapter 1 also mentions the things which are. So, since Jesus is revealing this to John, he is living on the Isle of Patmos in prison during the first century. It's late in the first century, probably 90 AD or later. Jesus referring to things that have been happening in these seven churches to which Jesus is sending a message to each of the seven. And that's covered in chapters 2 and 3 of Revelation. You can read those in detail. I find them fascinating in light of the fact that churches today aren't that much difference in reality. We have churches that are suffering, others that aren't even aware of their spiritual needs, and that kind of thing still happens today. Then, thirdly, chapter 4 kind of picks up from there, and this is the part of Revelation that folks are most familiar with. This is the future things, things which will take place after this, Jesus says to John. Now, John hadn't seen anything of the Antichrist. John hadn't witnessed the return of Israel to their holy land. Jerusalem was falling. The temple had been destroyed. None of that was even near happening back in the first century. So Jesus, pointing ahead here in chapter 1 to things he's going to begin to describe and give visions of John of chapters 4 all the way to chapter 22. And some think it's all one vision. That's possible. Some suggest it may be multiple visions based on the topic of what John's asked to record. And either way, all the vision, all that which is envisioned and revealed to John comes from Jesus throughout the book. Now, in the 4 to 22, there's a variety of things that takes place. I'm just going to move a bit later and to lead up to chapter 14, where we need to focus to get ready for June 12th. Um, Chapter 12, if you look at the top left corner on your screen, chapter 12 is about the Antichrist and the 7 years of tribulation. They're mentioned specifically, chapter 12, verse 14. It's called times, and a half a time. So it's 3.5 years. And that's half of the Revelation period, a total of 7 years. The first half is a false peace due to an agreement that the Antichrist makes with the Jews and their enemies. And then the second half are the real great tribulation. Then, if you move forward to Revelation 19, they're in the top middle. It refers to Jesus' second coming and what we call the Battle of Armageddon, which is the location of the battle, Megiddo, the Valley of Megiddo. Revelation 19, verses 12 down to 21, describe various aspects of his second coming, that battle, the Antichrist and false prophets' defeat and their judgment and sentencing as the first ones in the lake of fire. Then, thirdly, continuing, picking up in chapter 20, again, this is looking ahead at chapters 4 to 22. Satan is bound 1,000 years, and verses 1, 2, and 3 refer to that specifically. And there's an angel that comes from heaven and locks him up. Chapter 20, verse 4 is the next section, and that refers to the millennial reign of Christ. Jesus reigning for a period of 1,000 years is quite specific, and those who will reign with him, it's here on earth, and it includes us as believers today. And then chapter 20, verse 7 through 9, the final battle, it will take place in Jerusalem. The entire world will be opposing Christ at Jerusalem on his throne at the end of his 1,000 years after Satan's released. That battle won't even be fought. With a word, Satan is conquered and defeated. He's judged and sent to the lake of fire as well. And then chapter 21, verse 1 through 4, which talk about the new heaven and the new earth. It's a favorite topic of the book of Revelation because it's so positive. We find out we're on the winning side. It doesn't look like it till you get there, but then you find out that God has this great and wonderful and glorious plan for all those who follow Jesus to the end. And that doesn't mean perfection in your obedience. I'm not saying that, but simply a simple faith in him. And then moving forward there to where we're at now. We're coming up on a restart, picking up in Revelation 14, verse 16. So there's 4 videos I would suggest that you watch, and it'll refresh your memory of what we covered already in chapter 14. The first one in verse is called The Saints on Mount Zion, and that's verses 1 through 3. The second one, The Everlasting Gospel, Revelation 14, again, 4 through 6. Babylon is fallen, and that's a prophecy recorded in Revelation 14, 7 through 10. And the earth is ripe for harvest, Revelation 14, 11 through 15. Those are vlogs. They're each about 5 or 6 minutes long. So it only take you about a half an hour to watch all 4 of them. And then you'd be all set for June 12th, since we're just a week and a half away. That'll get you ready for the brand new vlogs, which will begin June 12th. And we'll start with verse 16 of chapter 14 and get the Revelation series back on track. Lord willing, we'll do weekly broadcasts unless a health problem returns. I struggle from time to time still, but I'm recovering. And I'm thankful for those who had prayed for me. Thank you so much. I couldn't have recovered without your prayers. So just a reminder again, it's June 12th. It's titled The Winepress of the Wrath of God. It's material that every believer living today should understand. And the prophecy of chapter 14 is a shocking prophecy. It's incredibly relevant as we close in on the soon approaching second coming of Jesus Christ. Can't tell you when that is. The Bible warns us that no man knows, but God knows, and we trust him to bring that about according to his time. So encourage you again, watch the 4 vlogs preceding Revelation 14, 16. That new one's coming up on June 12th, the winepress of the wrath of God. I do hope you will watch, participate, share these with your friends. You would find if you share with your friends, they are dying to understand Revelation better. And many of these videos are so helpful and just clarifying things, and they need that. So I encourage you to do so. Thank you for watching. Tune in again. Don't miss June the 12th. God bless.